here from last night's very emotional scene when the American men won the gold. The same thing could happen here tonight with the women's optionals, because at the end of the compulsories, here with the standings, Romania, the odds-on favorite to win the gold, was leading, but only by 45 hundredths of a point over the United States. The Chinese women were in third place. Jack Whitaker along with Kathy Rigby McCoy. Can lightning strike again?
Oh, I think absolutely can. The U.S. women are coming into this competition only 4.5 tenths of a point behind Romania. That's not a lot. Their optional routines are stronger than their compulsory, and they have that great psychological boost from the men's spectacular competition last night. It's a realistic dream for the U.S. to go for the gold. The Romanians are fighters, and they've been struggling with the Soviets and the East Germans over the years. They're used to the pressure, and we should get ready for a tremendous battle between Romania and the U.S.
All right, Kathy, thank you. There's the bell signifying that the competition indeed is about to begin, so let's go to it. Our ladies will start, the United States ladies, on the uneven bars. And they're getting them ready down here. The unevens, how are we set up with those, Kathy? Got a pretty strong event for us?
This is a strong event for us. It's a very critical event for us. We start on the bars, then we go right to the balance beam. If we can get these two events out of the way, everybody hits, then we're on our way, because floor exercise and vaulting, we are spectacular.
Julianne McNamara, of course, it's her strength is the uneven bars. You're looking here at Pam Bilek, who will be first. From Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Going to Pacifica High School in Huntington Beach, California, and they'll be cheering for her.
And Pam was extremely strong for us starting out on the vault in the compulsory. She had a break on the compulsory routine. Let's see if she can get it together on her optional exercise.
Now, on the uneven bars in the compulsories, Romania beat the United States, but by only 3/10. Here's a comparison of all the paraphernalia, the gymnastic equipment. There are 4 in women's competition.
And the crowd is going crazy over Julianne's warm-up. Let's see what she does in the actual competition. This crowd, as you say, will go off the top, out the roof.
Well, they're getting ready. There's the water and chalk.
And chalk. It helps the grip on the bar.
That's a tough diet. Water and chalk, huh? This is the one, Kathy, I always thought you needed strong abdominal muscles so you slam into that lower bar. Doesn't it hurt?
Well, actually, Jack, you don't hit your stomach on the bar. You hit the fold of your leg on the bar. And these women have been in gymnastics so long, they know the timing, they know how to hit that low bar. There's Julianne McNamara waiting her turn. You can see the pressure. Take a deep breath.
Oh, yeah, let's get it going. Let's get the first one done, and we'll be all right. Like, oh, yeah. Deep breath, Julie.
I was speaking to Bella, and he was saying that Mary Lou and Julianne are so psyched for this event.
Bela Caroli coaches those two, Mary Retton, whom you're looking at now, and Julianne, and we have a microphone on him tonight, so we might hear some words of encouragement and wisdom. We're about to begin, finally, Pam Bilek.
Free straddle over the low bar. Done very well. Good form so far. Reverse hack, difficulty. Those judges are looking for that extra risk, and that was a risk move. Double leg shoot through there. Her swing is right on. There's her stalter to a handstand. She hit the low bar, it sounded like there. And a full twisting Comanche. Great routine. A little hit on the low bar. Let's see if the judges heard it.
Don Peters, the women's coach.
And get out there and help the next one up. Here's her kip. Let's see if we can see. Didn't look like it there. There's her reverse hex. Half turn to the low bar. Her swing is tremendous. She's doing a great job. Double leg shoot through. Right to a handstand. Here's her stalter. No, she didn't look like she hit that low bar. Maybe not. Two on full twisting Comanche there. Little step backwards and not too big a deduction. Okay, look at her hands. Now she has to grasp that bar hard enough to stay on, but not too hard so that she can't move. And there's her dismount.
And her score, 9-6. So Pamela Bilek starts the United States women off with a 9-6 at the uneven bars. Remember, the top 5 scores count. They throw out the low score. As we go now to Tracy Talavera.
And Tracy has some of the most difficulty in her routine. Her routine is composed with one hard move after the other. She has been a tough competitor this entire competition so far.
6 years on the senior national team. She's a veteran.
Here's her straddle over. Right to a clear hip handstand. Right into a front.
Nice.
Beautifully executed. Drop to the low bar. Her swing is tremendous, and that's what the judges are looking for. She switches hands there. There's a reverse grip. Right into a front. Once again, and Jack, she's moving so well. This team is psyched.
Well, this takes so much strength for the women, doesn't it? These uneven bars. And she's doing it so well.
Oh, what a way to end this routine. Double fly away. They're on tonight.
Tracy Talavera, Walnut Creek, California.
They know what they have to do. Let's take another look. Here's her clear hip. Now, right at the top of her handstand, she does a front flip. Very difficult on timing. It's very easy to hit your feet and then hit that low bar if you're not careful. You can imagine in practice.
Tracy's so tall, it's more difficult for her.
Yes. Let's take another look. You can see her right into the handstand. Actually, we're going to a straddle kip and a double flyaway. And she's in good position close to that high bar. You can see why the timing's important on that particular move. If her feet hit that bar, she's on her hands and knees very quickly.
Tracy Talavera waiting for her score. Now, while the United States are on the uneven bars, the Romanians are on the ball. 9-7-5 for Tracy Talavera. That moves the women up.
They have to be happy with those routines. They have been on right at the beginning, and these are difficult events, the balance beam and the float and the uneven bars.
Here is Kathy Johnson. She's the veteran on the team, 24 years old.
Kathy has impeccable form and one difficulty after the other. All the American gymnasts have very extremely difficult and high-risk routines. Here's a half twist skip to the high bar. Watch this. Reverse hack. These women are swinging better than I have ever seen them in the past. Right into a Delchev, which is a half twist front flip. She is on. Let's see if she can hold on to it right to a toe-on handstand to her giant swings here. And a double twisting flyaway. Let's hope they stay this consistent and powerful. Woo, they are on.
Big hug from Mary Lou Redden for Kathy Johnson.
Yeah, the pressure is on, but they are handling it. Let's take another look at her dismount. She gets ready with these giant swings. This gives her the momentum to cast up very high at the end and complete two twists. Once again, you can see the hand work where they really have to grip that bar. And this is where they show grip changes, where she does her reverse to a front flip. It's amazing how close she is to that bar. And she has to drop to the low bar.
That's why they wear those bandages around their wrists.
That's right.
Kathy Johnson waiting for her score. This crowd seems to be taking the pressure tonight. They're like a little quiet, aren't they?
I think they're holding their breath.
Yes.
They want another miracle.
Last night it was so boisterous and marvelous here, and it will get that way tonight. Still waiting on the score there. Let's go to Laura Cutina of Romania on the ball. This is the first of two for her.
A powerful gymnast. Number 3 for Romania. Full twisting Sukahara and executed extremely well. She ran fast, went high up in the air.
9-8-0 for Kathy Johnson, along with Tracy Talavera's 9-7-5. The women are marching.
They are marching very well.
Now we come to Michelle Desir.
Michelle has been consistent through this entire meet, and a lady with no world championship experience. She is handling this pressure and excitement so very well.
Pretty tough at 15.
You're absolutely right. Handstand. Look at the form. She goes directly to the handstand. There's her Higgins roll right into a front somi. See if she can get the momentum going. Continue, actually. She's doing quite well. Here's another Stalter to a handstand. I'm sure her thoughts right now are stick that landing.
Did a pretty good job.
Oh, one right after the other.
In Garden Grove, California, Michelle Dessert.
On this super slow-mo, you can see the dismount quite clearly. Sometimes when they're moving so fast, it's difficult to see exactly what they're doing. Her straddle is very tight on the bar. She lifts those heels way above the bar. You have to do that to get enough height. Watch how her chest whips into her legs, giving her the momentum to turn all the way around there on that Comey front with a half twist.
Boy, they sure do a lot of things in a short period of time, don't they?
Exactly.
Laura Coutinho had 9.80 and a 9.75 on her 2 vault, so she'll keep, of course, the 9.80. As we look at Michelle Dessert waiting for her score on the uneven bars. Meantime, the Chinese women are on the balance beam.
Everybody is fighting.
9.80. And as it was last night, the battle is joined here in the first rotation between the Romanians and the United States. This is Lavina Agaki over at the vault, one of Romania's outstanding gymnasts.
And Lavinia was actually leading the compulsory competition and is a strong vaulter as well. Full twisting Suka, 1.5 twisting Suka, very nice.
This is Mary Lou Retton on the uneven bar.
There was a little bit of an arch there, but Mary Lou is moving quite well, especially in the beginning of her routine. That was her Retton flip, right into a handstand on the low bars, right into another handstand. This lady is dynamite.
Whoa!
Very aggressive.
That's what you look for, a landing like that. Mary Lou Retton.
Complete precision timing on everything.
He woke this crowd up.
She certainly did. Everybody's rooting for the Americans in this crowd.
9-9 on Agaki's ball. So the Romanians, as we knew, are going to be very formidable. Let's watch Mary Lou
Big battle.
Retton.
Here's a reverse hex. Now this is where I believe we have a little bit of trouble. Whoops, we're going to stop there. Here we are. Stomach whip. Right into that front. That's called the Retton flip. Nice and high. She didn't over-rotate, and she got a 9-9 on the uneven bars. Great start for the Americans.
Hey, Agaki gets 9-9 on the ball. Mary Lou comes backwards, 9-9 on the uneven bar.
They're playing ping pong out there.
Yep. Just like it was last night. Mary Lou Retton. Oh, boy.
You have to give credit to Don Peters and Bella Caroli. They have psyched these girls up, and all the hard work that they've done.
Here in slow motion, we'll have a look at Lavinia Agaki's second vault.
Her 9-9 vault. She gets tremendous speed here. Good position in the air, and here's her full twist. With 1.5 twist, actually.
And here's our strength on the uneven bars, Julianne McNamara.
And she is. She can swing like nobody in this competition. Watch how each move is fully extended. One difficulty after another. She doesn't let a move go by without a twist or a flip. Her handstand, her stalters, look at that, right to the handstand. Front with a half twist. This entire USA team has hit. And they've got one of the most difficult events out of the way. They go to balancing next, and they've got to be so excited at this point.
Wow, lovely smile on Julianne's face, but no wonder. Let's take another
Are
look.
we seeing shades of the men or what? Here's her stalter, right up to a straight body, straight leg handstand. This lady has the best technique in the entire competition on this event. Way above the ground and above that high bar. She lays it out when she comes down, almost standing right up. What a routine, and what a fine lady she is.
Julianne McNamara. Oh, Mary Lou Retton, she just really...
Will we see a 10 here?
Well, let's see. Let us wait. While we're waiting, we'll see in slow motion the Romanian Ekaterina Szabo.
And this is a pike, full twisting Sukahara, more difficult than the tucked Sukahara, because those legs are open just a little bit more. And she landed well, and let's see what the judges say.
Waiting for her score, too. It could come down with Agaki and Szabo against Retton and McNamara.
Well, as we said, it's a Back and forth.
There's Ekaterina Szabo waiting for her score from the first ball.
You can see her looking around a little bit to the uneven bars. They know that this is probably as big a battle as if they were the Soviets.
And here the crowd getting rested with the scoring. We were about 30 minutes late starting because of slow scoring in the last session. Julianne truly can. There's a 10 for Szabo's first ball. A 10 for Szabo's first ball.
And look at the tears in her eyes almost.
Yes. You cannot do better than that, Katerina.
Right.
She'll take the second ball anyway, right?
And you can bet that this crowd will go wild if Julianne doesn't get a 10.
Well, it's a good look at this young lady who is the big star of Romania.
Very good position all the way around. She's got distance and height. You can see a slight separation in the legs, but from where the judges were sitting, I don't know if they'll see that.
Well, once again, when the judges are slow like this, it absolutely throws off the next competitor.
Exactly. You can see once again she gets
But
good.
this is the last
Off the
competitor,
board.
though. But they're going to hold up the whole operation.
Exactly.
A 10 for Julianne McNamara. And I tell you, again, Szabo gets 10, Julianne McNamara.
Fighting tooth and nail back and forth.
Szabo got 99 on her second ball, and it's meaningless really after the 10. And there's Bela, who used to be Szabo's coach. Okay. No. The ice is broken. Okay. That's good. Get him. The ice is broken indeed. Oh, Julianne McNamara, a perfect 10 on the uneven bars.
Couldn't be more deserved by just a classy lady, someone who works extremely hard, as all the athletes do, but this lady is intense. And she's not even thinking about that 10 anymore. She knows she has to go to the balance beam, and that's a big obstacle at this point. They have to hit. We have to make up those 4.5 tenths, and we're going head-to-head right now, so...
All right, we'll be back with more Olympics in just a moment. Now over UCLA and inside Pauley Pavilion now. Julianne McNamara, who just did a perfect 10 on the uneven bars, and the rotation just over because the Chinese women were a little slower on the balance beam. And now, Ann Simon, our colleague, has the biggest celebrity in Hollywood today. Ann?
That I do, Jack. Last night it was his turn to endure the nervous... Tonight it's the ladies. What are they going through right now?
Oh, they're going through a lot of pressure, but I think that the ladies are up. They're going to keep staying up. That's what we did. We kept ourselves going, and I can tell just after bars that the girls are really up. And even if they fall behind a little bit, they're going to keep that momentum, and they're going to be tough to the end, regardless of what happens.
Right now you're in the lead for the all-around championship. You going to lose any sleep over that in anticipation?
Well, I think that anything that happens after this would be icing on the cake. I really think that our gold medal was icing on the cake, so I'm just going to try to go out there and hit all 6 routines, and I have to think of the meet as just starting from zero, and that's how I'm going to have to play it.
I heard you last night, Peter, when you were looking for the results, and you said, oh, no, I'm in the lead, uh-oh.
Well, I didn't ask for that. You know, I just wanted to hit my routines and do all I can to get the USA in first, and when I saw myself in first all-around, I said, boy, I guess I have a chance, and it puts a little pressure on me, but hopefully I'll be able to deal with it.
Peter Vidmar, Jack, you're right, he's the big star.
All right, thank you very much. And there's the gymnasts now preparing to march to their next apparatus, and here is the score after that first rotation. Romania is still in first place. The United States is second by 0.6 of a point now. So despite the marvelous performance, they lost a little ground with the Chinese women in third. Julianne McNamara leading with the United States women as they move from the uneven bars to the balance beam. The Romanians will move to the uneven bars, and the Chinese women will be on the floor exercise. Now, the floor exercise includes music, so if you hear music, all of a sudden, that's what it will be from. 15/100ths of a point we lost in that first rotation.
That is not much.
All right, Julie McNamara, of course, is one of our bright stars in gymnast world, so why don't we take a closer look at her?
past 5 years, 18-year-old Julianne McNamara has been a nomad, practicing the art of gymnastics in Oregon, California, and now Houston. She was born in New York City. She has been treated like a rare hothouse flower, tenderly nourished, but isolated from a normal teenage life.
I think we are mature in a way. A lot of kids, they don't know what they want to do, and they waste maybe 3 or 4 years of their life fooling around, whereas I've pretty much known what I've wanted at an early age. I've known since the time I was, 13 that, I wanted to become a world-class gymnast. I've really always been self-motivated. You're putting in all the work, and you're putting in all the hours, and you can't be doing it for someone else. You have to be doing it for yourself. It's hard sometimes. Some days you kind of wonder, is it worth it? There's that goal that you set for yourself, and sometimes it seems so far away, and then other times it seems so close. Some days the workouts aren't so fun going in there working out every day, but at the same time you have to enjoy it. I guess the question I get asked a lot is, do I feel like I've missed out on a normal life? But to me, what's been normal is to be in a gym, 5 or 6 hours a day, and it's been my choice. It's been what I wanted to do. And, it's not like I was forced into doing it. And if I wanted to do, the things that my friends were doing or, those type of things, then I could have done it. I could have at any time just said, I'm done with my gymnastics. I don't want to do it anymore. But it wasn't that way. It was my choice.
It was the self-exiled Romanian Bela Karolyi who coached Nadia Comaneci, who brought Julianne to Houston. He looks for a great gymnast, not in the limbs, but in the eyes.
You can find the great athletes looking on the eyes. If they have the spark on the eyes, if they have the greatness, the desire, and the confidence, yes, I am the one who I'm going to make it. Yes, that's what you have to pay more attention. Because even maybe the physical ability and that specific moment is not that great, that can be developed. But what is inside, what is psychological aspect, it's hard to develop. You can make improvements, but never you can make a little scared rabbit to be a lion, and that's the point in gymnastics.
The McNamara family, apart for much of Julianne's life, is together again. Her parents have moved to Houston, and she remembers their support, not their absence.
You have a lot of people with you during the good times, but during the bad times, you don't always have so many people with you, and my family has been the ones that stayed with me.
That was Julianne McNamara at home, and there she is now. We'll be back with the second rotation in just a moment. Back at Pauley Pavilion at UCLA, and there are the standings after the first rotation in the women's optionals. Romania still leading. In fact, they picked up 0.15 of a point on the United States, despite Julianne McNamara's marvelous 10. The U.S. trails now by 0.6 of a point. The Chinese are still in third. West Germany and Canada fourth and fifth. The second rotation has begun. The United States on the balance beam. There you see the three apparatus. The unbalanced beam. In the middle is the floor exercise, and the balance beam at the end of Pauley Pavilion, and that is where the United States is. They're looking at Christina Grigoris of Romania.
And Christine has a very good entrance on the uneven bars. It's a front flip. Critical time is she must get high enough to not hit her head. Little stop there. The coach almost got hit. As long as that coach doesn't get in the way, they're all right. So far moving fairly well. A little hesitant on that one move in the beginning. Clear hip handstand. Very tall for a gymnast. To her twisting movement on the high bar to the low bar. Straddle over. She has to watch her foot form. Sometimes her feet get a little flat. One toe on. And her Comaneci with a half twist. Good exercise.
Christina Grigoris. All 97 pounds of her.
You can see that they really have faced the pressure before. Let's take another look at her mount. Watch how her head has to get very high above that low bar so she doesn't hit it and cause her timing to be off. She sits a little bit flat there, makes her half twist, And we hear the crowd booing, and basically what they're booing about is Pam Bilec's 9.5 on the balance beam. And here's Christine's dismount. It's a Coleman each named after Nadia herself, her teammate. Christina Grigoris, good routine.
They come from a big... Here we are at the balance beam. Michelle Dessert, 9.80 for Gregorius on that unbalanced bar.
Teammate Pam Bilek, right before Michelle, did an excellent routine.
The piano music, again, we would tell you, is for the floor exercise, which the Chinese team is performing at the moment. And it must be a little distracting to the person on the balance beam.
A little bit, but if you just notice, Michelle did a swing to a side flip, and that is extra risk. Those judges will award that for the 10th or maybe even 2. Ready for her back handspring into a back layout.
Oops.
Little break there. That's a 5/10 of a point deduction right there when you hold on to the beam like that. Full turn, a lot of pressure, these ladies. Basically what this means is that this has to be, if her score is lower than the others and they count those 5 scores, then they have to be good ones. Otherwise, we'll have no chance of making up. Interesting connecting move here. Chest stand. I think they've endured the pressure very well. We need to continue the concentration at this point. And a double twist. Good exercise. One major break, though. Let's see if the other girls can come up with real strong routines.
Pam Bilek has already done her balance beam exercise and got a 9.60. Now let's take a look so you can see the break here.
Okay, she goes into the back handspring. Looks right on. Shoulders, hips, legs in line. Difficult move. It's blind. You cannot see the beam until you're almost on top of it. You can see right here she grasps under the beam. They can take, actually, not 5/10, that's 3/10 with one hand catching the beam.
How do you
like
get your concentration back when that happens?
Well, a lot of times what happens is that you take a deep breath and the bad thing has happened, so you go on. Other times it truly just knocks the rest of the routine out, but she handled it well. She also did a triple twist on that dismount, not a double twist.
We're at the uneven bars now, and this is Laura Cutina of Romania.
And these Romanians are fighting. Everybody's done a good job so far. Reverse hex, straddle over the low bar, and a double leg shoot through. Right to the handstand, just what the judges are looking for. There's a front summit, Delchev there. Moving quite well so far. A little tiny lady, only about 4'8", moves in between the bars very well. And her giant swings here. She's getting ready for a double back. Dismount, perfect landing. These girls are on.
Laura Cutina of the Romanians. And she's the coming star. Part of the new wave.
Exactly. There's her kip to a handstand. Look, straight body. That's what the judges want to see. Straight body in all their handstands. And another double flyaway, nice and high above that bar.
Well, it's a 9.40 for Michelle Dessert on the balance beam, and that will hurt.
Here's her dismount once again. She has to rise way above the bar. This swing is giving her the momentum to really lay out, tuck those feet in, and get that double back with no problem. She stands up very high at the end.
A 9.9 for Laura Cutina on the uneven bars. There it is.
They also have a critical routine coming up, and that is on the balance beam where Tracy is right now. And Tracy has been moving very well. She's been one of our toughest competitors on this event, always consistent. But the difficulty level is so great now, anything could happen. That balance beam only 4 inches wide.
It's like an instrument of torture to me. I don't know how they can do it.
By the way, that was the Thomas Flair on the balance beam. As, of course, our own Kurt Thomas performed it first on the floor exercise, and now we have it on the balance beam. So you can see anything can be done on the balance beam. Her aerial cartwheel right into a back handspring. Good combination move. Right into a gainer layout. Look at the concentration. You can tell Tracy is experienced. She knows just what she has to do. She's thinking constantly how each move should be executed. Now getting ready for her dismount. Round off, double back. Oh, big break there. We're having a little trouble on the balance beam.
Down to the knees on that.
And that's going to cost us a lot because the first score is not higher than Pam's.
Yes,
we are going to have a couple of low scores.
9.60 and a 9.40, and now Tracy. Let's take another look.
But the Romanians also have to get on the balance beam, and we will see if they can handle the pressure. Here's that Thomas flare, right into a split. Tracy is the one and only person on the balance beam in this competition doing that move. Another look at Tracy's dismount, round off. You can imagine landing both feet on that 4-inch. It just looked like she was a little under-rotated. Obviously disappointed.
Waiting for the score.
As we've said many, many times, the balance beam is an event that can make or break you. And with all the difficulty, the high level of difficulty they're doing on the balance beam, it's very unpredictable. As much as these girls practice, and they do practice maybe 25 to 30 routines a day just on this event.
It is to women what the pommel horse is to the men, isn't it?
That's what I have heard from the men, yes.
Let's watch the Katerina Szabo.
An aggressive style like Mary Lou Retton. So far, Mount was very good. Front roll to a handstand. Switch grip. There's a grip change. Big break there.
Whoa.
We may be able to make up some points, actually.
And Agaki had a 9.55 just before, so we might be moving closer together.
That's right. And they also, as I said, have the beam coming up. There's a reverse hex. So we may not be so far out of range as we thought. Oh, big break. We're even about now, it seems. Oh, very disappointed at this point.
9.15 for Tracy. And we've gone progressively lower, and it's the first time this week that I remember that that's happened. Let's watch the first break.
Let's take a good handstand. You can see she switched hands. She hit her foot on the bar, stopped her momentum. Timing is so critical on this event. Also, she hit the floor just slightly. She brushed the floor on her straddle down. Here's her dismount now. Let's take a look. I believe she came off the bar just a little bit too early. You can see she's getting prepared, throws those knees way up. She's about parallel to the bar. Her body is in as we call a cowboy situation. She's falling very quickly, has no time to stand up. Feet didn't get quite in front of her enough, and you can see that it can be hard on the head there. Big break for Ekaterina. But she has to go on.
And that's one of their big ones. She's carrying a lot of pressure, too. She's known as the second Nadia, or the new Nadia, which is an awful heavy load to carry around on you.
Which just goes to show you that the skill level, as I said on the balance beam, is very unpredictable. They're doing one superior difficulty after another.
Their best gymnast at the moment. And it can happen to the best. 9.30. 9.30 for the big one for Romania on the uneven bars. And the music strikes up for the Chinese on the floor exercise as... Let us show you Lavina Agaki just before Szabo for the Romanians.
And another large break. You can see that the pressure is affecting the Romanians as much as the Americans. They're spiked up like racehorses, but they need the control as well. Double H shoot-through coming to the high bar. Getting her momentum back now and getting ready for her dismount. Getting enough speed built up. There's that double back done very well, unlike Ekaterina Szabo.
She got a 9.55 for that. Looks like the United States, though, will still lose a little more ground, but not as much as we might have, because we have a 9.6 and a 9.4 we're going to have to live with. Kathy Johnson has already done her balance beam, and we're waiting for the score. Julianne McNamara will be next on the balance beam. As the girls warm up, the Romanians there in the aisle, Julianne waiting. This interminable wait for the scores to come up.
This is the hardest event to have to wait around on. You try to stay warm, warm up on the sidelines. Kathy waiting on her score right now. She had a couple of little breaks, but for the most part, a spectacular routine.
And up at the scorer's table there is Nadia Comaneci, the immortal. The greatest Romanian of all, here to cheer on her teammates, her countrymen.
Keeping close tabs on her Romanian companions. And Kathy doesn't really know what's going on at the time. That is Ro Kreitzer with her. She is the team manager.
And we seem to have a conference.
There's Jackie Fye and head judge on the balance beam.
Nadia is not here as a judge, or just here as a guest. And
Spectator as a cheerleader for her team. And the audience is getting very impatient.
And Julianne waiting, pacing. And it breaks the rhythm of everything. Mary Lou Retton there.
There's a tremendous amount
The
of
judges
pressure.
here on the balance beam are from the chief judge is from the United States, Mrs. Fye, and then we have Senorita Alberto from Spain, one from China, one from Brazil, and one from Rome.
I must say that, excuse me, Jack, I must say we are on our way to becoming more objective with open scoring.
So Jackie Fye, you saw in the piece that Ann Simon interviewed Jackie Fye about the new changes in the scoring system, which will make a lot of controversy disappear. They're going to go to 6 figures, 3 more after the decimal point, and won't have the situation that came up in the compulsories with Mary Lou Retton not getting a full 10 on her floor exercise, which the American coaches thought she should have had.
And with 6 judges, maybe it will become more objective.
Once again, these balance beam judges are from the United States, Spain, China, Brazil, and Romania.
Actually, what's happening right now is Jackie is talking to Madam Berger, one of the heads of the Women's Technical Committee, and apparently they cannot solve the problem with just the head judge. So they are going to the very head of the Women's Technical Committee to find out what can be done or what should be done.
In the meantime, Julianne and all of us wait. And Mary Lou Retton, who will go on the balance beam after Julianne. And Kathy Johnson, waiting to see how she did on the balance beam.
So frustrating.
Coach Don Peters, women's team, the United States.
Psychologically really boosting these days. I might mention there's Marie Roethlisberger standing right next to Don Peters.
The little girl clapping right there.
I might mention that Marie was the alternate on the team. She has a hearing defect and really a remarkable lady. And by the way, her father, Fred Roethlisberger, was on the 1968 Olympic team with me and must be a very proud dad indeed.
What a handicap to overcome because of that inner ear and the balance for a sport that requires great balance.
Right. You're right.
Well, there's the boss. That's Yuri Titov, the head of the International Federation of Gymnastics, and he's on the phone, I guess, saying, hurry up.
That's right. I think he's doing a little more than that, but he is from the Soviet Union, and along with Teresheva, another representative, Lyudmila Teresheva, one of the great gymnasts of all time, who is, by the way, head judge on the vaulting.
So everything has come to a standstill here at Pauley Pavilion.
And the spectators are getting colder, and the gymnasts as well. But I guess this is the Olympics, and they want to make sure they're right on.
Is this just a difference of opinion, or?
Well, whenever there's a discrepancy, as we've said in the past, between the 2 middle scores, then that head judge calls everybody together. And sometimes those judges, not the head judge, but the other ones, fight for their score, fight for their right to put up the score they wanted to put up to begin with.
Well, now the other 2 teams are finished with this second rotation. They're going to have to wait. There it is, finally, the longest 9.6 in gymnastic history. Kathy Johnson gets 9.60.
And the spectators certainly don't like that. They thought it should have been higher.
Don Peters doesn't like it either.
No.
Now we go to Julianne McNamara.
And this has to put us in tremendous amount of pressure on Julianne. She knows that her score has to be high. And this is the event that's so incredibly pressuring. She starts with a one-arm handstand. Very few women in the world can do this as well as Julianne. And big break there. Oh, too long a wait for it. It's very unfair for Julianne. Jump stag. That kind of weight is really psychologically so bad. Full turn. I think she almost should have had a chance to warm up again. Gainer layout. Very classy individual on this event. And her back handsprings. 2 of them in a row. Superior difficulty. And here's another press handstand. This lady rarely falls off this apparatus. She's had such tremendous training. Watch the slant, and she'll go right into a back hip circle. Usually only seen on the uneven bars. She was the first to do that. And another gainer back handspring, little bobbles. You can see she's a bit nervous. But you can't let it stop. You have to continue, as we've said in the past. Keep that momentum going. Getting ready for a dismount now. Cartwheel, double twist.
All right.
Fine landing. Courageous lady there.
Well, she waited a long time. Now we have Mary Lou Retton left. Julianne comes down, and I hope she doesn't have to wait as long for her score.
Hopefully not.
Look how long her arms are. She's just a strong little girl.
Now she does the press handstand very well. I think she was a little bit nervous. You can see that her legs start twisting just a little. She tries to regain her composure, but her feet and her back are just too far off the beam. Let's take another look at that dismount. Cartwheel with a double twist. This lady has springs in her legs. Gets wound up here, punches very hard off that back foot, actually. It's up in the air. You can see that she starts her twist immediately off that balance beam, stays in the air almost suspended, and watches the floor so she can make a good landing here.
Which she did. Talking with Don Peters, discussing a performance. Mary Lou Retton waiting, and here's the score. 9-2-0, so the United States is going to fall quite a bit behind the Romanians here, despite the fact that the Romanians had a few breaks.
That's right. We're still, we have 2 of our best events coming up, however, and we have Mary Lou Retton on the balance beam. She's aggressive, tough.
Mary Lou Retton now. We're told on Kathy Johnson there was too big a range in the score, a difference in the score, and that's what the holdup was for.
The 2 middle scores, exactly. She's being aggressive so far. You know, it's early in the routine, but you can tell almost immediately she does not hold back. Getting herself set up right into a back cut. Slight bobble there. That's only a minor break. You can see her confidence. 2 scissor leaps. Very difficult, risky moves. Okay, here's a big move coming up. Front flip. And she nailed it. If she can just hold on to this routine, this crowd will go nuts. She's done this routine many, many times. Back tuck. Look how solid she is. Those shoulders and hips right in line. You can see the confidence on her face. Showing her flexibility now. This is what the media has been talking about. This aggressive lady, so tough. As we hold our breath, she gets ready for her dismount. Okay, let's see if she can hit it. Round off, double back, and she's there! A great last routine. That's what we needed. Get the confidence back up.
Yes, sir. Mary Lou Retton, the last one of the balance beam. Get it back on the beam.
Right.
There she is for curtain call.
Even at those judges as well. Dynamic young lady. Let's take another look at that first flip. Hard move to do. very blind. You cannot see that beam till you're right on it. And she's practiced that so many times in practice. Let's take another look at that dismount. Watch how high she is. This is all the talk about those strong legs shows up right here. Way in the air. You can see she finishes one flip, still above the beam, goes into the second one, and she finishes with almost standing straight up. Couldn't be done better.
Way to go, Mary Lou Retton. Look at her running all that energy.
All around the gym.
She's got more energy than a fossil fuel.
No, now it's everything you told me. No, you cool down and don't forget, high as you can. Cool down on the second tumbling test, okay? Stay long, take your time, and fly, and hit the back over. Keep on your mind. You're going to come back. I'm going on another side, all right? Go over there.
Oh, this is good.
Ayla Korodian, he's telling her, no, 9.75.
For the difficulty level of this...
9.75 for Mary Lou Retton.
Unbelievable.
Now, we understand that the United States is protesting the score on Kathy Johnson, too.
You can bet they'll protest that score as well.
And the United States will move over to floor exercise, in which they are rather strong.
Especially the last two you just saw in that scene.
I'd like to notify our affiliated stations along the line now that we'll take a 2-minute local news break. So we'll resume our coverage of the games of the 23rd Olympiad after this brief news break. Back at Pauley Pavilion, where the rotation is halfway done, we finished 2 of them. And Romania still states the 1.75. China is in 3rd place still. And there is the written protest signed by Coach Don Peters, protesting Pam Bilec's beam exercise and Kathy Johnson's. So we'll see how far that gets. 1.15 points we dropped in that rotation on the balance beam, which has been the bête noire of many people, but it really came up and hit the United States women, didn't it?
It certainly did. And there's Coach Don Peters, by the way, moving on to the next event. I know he's upset about those protests, but he knows he has to continue his coaching and get these girls psyched up for their 3rd event.
Very interesting over on that beam. There's a judge from China and a judge from Romania.
And you can bet that both of them want to get as close as they can, especially China, to the United States in order to threaten them from taking the silver or the gold, and of course Romania.
Floor exercise, Tracy Talavera.
Very strong competitor on this event. She begins with a double kite. She's especially good in the area of dance. She's elegant. Right on! Strong event for the U.S. Double back. Couldn't be better. They're mad now.
Don't get mad, get even.
That's right. Years of experience is showing up right now. Lovely dance. This lady has it under pressure. Now they have to show a change of pace in their routine, and this is what you're hearing right now. They also need a great deal of endurance for their last tumbling run. Double twist. Super routine for Tracy. They're coming back. Unique ending here. Nothing wrong with that routine.
All right, Tracy.
There's a little tap overhead. Look at that. Camaraderie, sportsmanship, all right there. Let's take another look at that last tumbling run. As we said, this takes a great deal of endurance. It's like running the 440. You've done so many difficult elements prior. It takes a great deal of effort, especially to get up in the air and twist twice. As you can see here, one right into the other one when you're tired, but she nails it. Nothing can stop her now.
All right, when we say we're in the third rotation, it means simply that there are, what did Tracy get? 9-8-0, Tracy, way to go. All right. There are 4 pieces of gymnastics equipment for women's competition, and each one is called a rotation as we go to the Chinese women on the box.
And that was a round off to the board, right into a back handspring position on the horse to a full twist. The Chinese have had difficulty in this event in the past. They were weak in their ankles and legs. They've improved a great deal.
That was Chao Churi of China, and then now we're going back to the floor exercise, Pam Bida.
Beautiful move coming up here. Full in, and she landed it. Extremely difficult move. They do a double back and put a full twist on the first back slip. Very complicated to say, let alone do.
See the Romanian women on the beam behind there.
Exactly. Michaela Stanolet on the balance beam behind her. There's a second tumbling run front to a round off flip-flop double twist, showing your twist movement effortlessly. Reminds you of opening ceremonies.
Chao Churi of China had 9.65 on that vault we just saw.
Pam's choreography is so unique. She works with Mary Wright, who is an assistant to Coach Don Peters. Lovely stretch. The ballet pays off. You can see her little tiredness in her face, but she's going to be aggressive on this double twist, and she nails it. Another fine routine for the Americans.
And Bida. Well, coming into these final 2 rotations, we're on our strongest apparatus, aren't we?
Yes, we are. Everyone has a tough routine, and especially our last 2 competitors, Mary Lou and Julianne. But let's take another look at Pam's second tumbling run. Her front flip, she shows front tumbling here. It's actually called a Russian front. They invented that move, so it is named after them. Right into a round-off back handspring, which should be stretched. She lays up and does a double twist here, twice around. You can see her trying to keep her legs together. The judges don't see any kind of separation, usually. Good exercise.
9.80, the second one. Tracy Talavera, 9.80. Pamela Bilek, 9.80.
Despite the problems on the balancing, they have been the toughest American team I have ever seen.
And her schoolmate from Pacifica High School, Michelle Dessert, will be next.
It is quite a credit to the team of the Stats in Huntington Beach, California. They have 4 girls on the Olympic team. Here's Laura Coutina on the balance beam, 3rd best on the Romanian team. Concentrating now. She does a round off back handspring right onto the beam. You can't do it better than that. Each move is very clean. She has good ballet background. Getting ready for a big acrobatic series here. Back handspring right into a back layout. You can see that her shoulders, hips, and feet are right in line. She's trying to stay directly over that balance beam. Staying on the beam now, showing flexibility. This lady always has confidence. She's very aggressive. She does not hold back. Every move is controlled. They'll walk over right on. In the gym, they do one routine after the other. In fact, they barely take any warm-up, which is unusual. A little low on that leap, and a little low on that jump. Good also. The judges want to see as much height on all the jumps and leaps as possible.
That applause is for Michelle Dessert's floor exercise. Doesn't seem to disturb Laura.
No, not at all. Double back, a little off-center there. But a good routine for her.
Training center for the Romanians is in Deva, about 200 miles from Bucharest, and that's where most of these young girls live.
They train together a great deal because there are a lot of world competitions that they all go for. Back handspring to a back layout, you can see that she was right on, shoulders, hips in line, and that's what a gymnast thinks about most of the time through their moves, just to keep everything in line, keep that beam centered, right down the center.
And we have a 9.90 for Michelle Dessert in floor exercise.
They are making up points quickly.
That will move us up a bit.
As Laura moves in slow motion in front of us.
Now Kathy Johnson at the floor exercise.
Kathy shows such grace, probably more so than anyone. And the first tumbling run, another risky move, Kathy. Triple twist, which she nailed in warm-up. She was having difficulty with it, but she came through. Shades of Ben Casey.
Well, Laura Cucina got 9.80 on the beam.
Run, double pike. Break there for Kathy. Not too big a break, though. Elegant sort of swan-like movement. Such a joy to watch Kathy on this event. Every move is polished and extended. She invented the word amplitude. Here's her last tumbling one run. Let's see if she does a triple twist here. Double twist. She had the triple in the beginning, so naturally she would do the double at the end. What a performer.
Kathy Johnson, Mark Connor, the men's team applauding.
The men and the women's teams are so close. They applaud for each other. They psychologically boost each other up. Let's take another look at that first tumbling run for Kathy. She was right on, building the speed only in a few steps, because if you run too far, you're going to run out of room at the end. In fact, she ran even farther than a lot of gymnasts, but she goes up so high. Actually, that's her double or triple twist right there, right on. A little short, but she moves so quickly the judges will not even see that. Okay, let's take another look at the break here. The round-off flip-flop is right on. She gets into her pike. She leans back. Looks like she just didn't have quite enough rotation. She did not, and that's what caused the fall.
And 9.65 is what the judges rate her. Kathy Johnson.
That's a 3/10 of a point deduction for a break like that, and she's disappointed. But the rest of the routine was fabulous.
Julianne McNamara. I am ready.
Julianne is pretty secure on this event. You rarely see her break. Of course, her opening tumbling run is extremely difficult. It's a full-in double back. 2 back flips with a full twist on the first back. Here it is. Round off that handspring. Full in. And she is on. And she can't relax, but she's certainly confident about that particular move, and she can move on now and enjoy the routine. Dynamic competitor. Excitement to music. Feeling when that audience gets behind you is so great. Their second tumbling run off back handspring, double tuck, and she's on. Oh, look at that smile. Play it for everything you got. Let's see if she can nail this last tumbling run.
McNamara. Oh, smile. Look at that smile. First tumbling run.
On the first tumbling run, Jack, she just nailed this, and I know that she was nervous about it before she performed it. It's, remember, 2 back flips with a full twist on the first back flip. You'll be able to see it right here. There's the first back flip with a twist. She comes out of it, pulls those legs in, and really jerks them around. As you can see, she's coming out. Pulls up very hard with those stomach muscles and shoulders. Take another look at the tumbling run. Round up that downstream.
All right, a 10 for Julianne.
Well
She hit it, and you called it, Kathy. Oh, did you call it?
Well, Julianne deserves it.
Woo.
Couldn't be happier for a nicer woman than Julianne.
They're on their feet at Paulie once again.
And Mary Lou is standing there getting ready to go and smiling for her teammates. As Julianne gave her a little look of confidence and
Oh, waiting, here's Mary Lou Retton, and in this floor exercise, she'll explode like an uncontrolled temper. Watch her. She is ready. She had a 9.5 in the compulsories, and most people, 9.95, and most people thought it should have been a 10.
she is tight. Watch how high this woman tumbles, completes her tumbling moves that are so complicated. Double layout! Look at that thing.
Well, the Romanian Lara Coutinha did a 9.8 on the beam, and Agapia's got a 9.4. And Ekaterina Szabo got a 9.95.
Here's her second tumbling run. Watch this. Full in! As her second tumbling run, little break there, but the difficulty of the move is just incredible. That will only be about a 10, 2 at the most. Did it so quickly, you hardly notice. One last tumbling run here. Not even breathing hard. Here she goes. Round up that handspring. Double back. Standing up straight at the end.
She nailed that landing, the last one, didn't she?
Yes, she did.
Woo.
The highest tumbler in the competition, the most difficulty in her routine.
Mary Lou Retton now. Let's take a look.
Watch this double layout. It's difficult enough to do a double back in a pike position or a tuck position, but this lady does it with a straight body. That means she has to get around 2 times with her body as straight as a pencil. Very hard to do. Watch this. She lifts up in the air. Those short little legs, but they have muscle. Anticipation of her score.
9.90.
They only took a tenth off for that break.
So the United States women's team does extremely well in the floor exercise. Their weakest place, of course, has been that balance beam. We'll be back with more Olympics in just a moment. Back at Paulie Pavilion, and here are the scores after 3 of the 4 rotations. Romania has gone out to a 1.65 lead over the United States, who in turn has a 2.35 lead over China. So Romania is in very good position now for the gold, but the United States might have silver all by itself, too. Here was what the last Romanian gymnast did on the balance beam. This is Simona Palka.
And she moved very quickly and very aggressively. No breaks. Back handspring right into a back, 2 back layouts. right on. You can see she's not hesitating one bit. Very good ankle support and strength. That could have been a little break when she bent down and touched the balance beam, but she covered it up very well. And the judges can't take anything off. Back handspring right into back rail. You can see that there's no bobble, no insecurity at all. And here was her handstand showing flexibility and balance. Watch this. It almost touches that balance beam, makes a full half turn here. Intricate movements. No bobbles at all thus far in her routine. Trying to do a standing back layout. She was right on.
And it's where the United States fell down, but they, remember, are protesting 2 scores, that of Pam Bialik and that of Kathy Johnson.
And it is given to the technical committee, and they evaluate it along with Yuri Titov and head of the FIG and Madam Berger, and they will come up with a decision. And then you can see that was an incredible routine.
Perfect 10 for Simona Palka. We're back live now at Pauley Pavilion, waiting for the beginning of the last rotation, and we'll return for that in just a moment. Back at Pauley Pavilion, where the 4th rotation has started, you're looking at Cristina Grigoris of Romania on the floor exercise.
And a veteran of many international competitions. Started out very well. Her front flip now to a back handspring and a side somi. Long-legged. And her style is very much like Nadia's. Angular movements, very jazz type. And all business.
United States 1.65 behind Romania. A marvelous showing for our women.
Oh, the best ever. And to have a silver medal, believe me, for somebody who has watched the U.S. struggle to just make a reputation, this is incredible. The last tumbling run. Round off back handspring, double twist, landed well. What flexibility.
All right, Cristina Grigoris of Romania. The United States has got the vault, and the Chinese team are on the uneven bars.
Let's take another look at that last tumbling run, the one that takes the most effort. There's a round off back handspring. You see she was off just a little bit on her back handspring. It was a little crooked. Caused her to just come out a little short of the double twist.
All right. Number 83, Cristina Grigoris. Feels she did a pretty good job. They kind of sense they have the goal, don't they?
Right.
9.75 for Cristina Grigoris. Now at the vault, this is Pam Bialik.
And Pam really nailed the vault for us in compulsory. She stuck it like we should do, and that there should be no problem. But let's see what she does on her vault this time. Full twisting Tsukahara, a little low on the head in that landing. Didn't get quite enough rotation, but she didn't put her hand down, and she certainly didn't move with her feet. This vault takes so much speed and the right kind of punch. She should not bend her arms. She'll take the shot in her shoulders, pushes off. You can see she completes a full twist into the back, but she didn't touch. She stepped a little to the side there. You can see it better from that angle. Let's see where she comes in on the horse. If she comes in off the right angle, she's a little high there. You can see that she's twisting over the horse. She should have a little more distance. Didn't get quite enough rotation. Boy, she didn't want to put those hands down, though.
Pam Bialik had a 9.80 in the compulsories. And she got 9.60 there. Of course, she has another vault.
And she's going to try to lift those shoulders, get a better punch. She needs the speed going into the beatboard. As you said, it's similar to pole vaulting. Only you use your hands instead of the pole. Oh, that's a big break. I'm afraid that 9.6 is going to be it.
Well, they throw out the low score and keep the high 5, too.
That's right.
Remember that.
I might mention, too, she's had a stress fracture, and it could be affecting her right now. She was limping off the floor a little bit there. Let's see how she lands on this one and see if it looks like she bends that ankle. You can see she completes the twist very, very late. Her shoulders are low, almost onto the ground, and she certainly does. She bends that ankle right over.
9.15. And she'll keep the 9.6. Pam Bilek. Kathy Johnson. Speed is important here, isn't it? And the push off the horse.
Speed and mostly timing. As you will watch in a minute with Mary Lou Retton, she's probably runs faster than anybody. Faster than some of our sprinters possibly, but you need that explosion off the horse. You need the right timing of the kick of your heels. Kathy does a layout Sukahara.
Ooh.
Good position in the air. The vault is worth a 9.9 in the quarter points, not a 10, and the judges will deduct from there. This is a very safe vault for Kathy. She always does it so well. She gets good position onto the horse. You can see right there, she lifts her chest and her shoulders way up over that horse. She piked down just a little bit, but not bad at all. The judges will not take off too much for that.
Kathy Johnson, 9.75.
She was not happy with that. She wants a higher score. She wants to get closer to the Romanians.
Well, she has one more. This will be the last of the team competition exercise for Kathy Johnson.
Talking to herself there, knowing what she has to do. She's done it so many times in practice. She knows she has to block that horse with those shoulders and ricochet up in the air. Look how aggressive she is. Better. That's the way you want to support her. She knew it was better, too.
Boy, she is the comeback kid on the American women's team. On her first compulsory in the Olympic trials, she scored in the 7th and then came back. Go ahead.
And I think that training has paid off. She looks so beautiful going through this move. You can especially see it from the side here. Good timing in the air, so high. You see how she blocks better from this position. She reaches into the horse, immediately starts pushing the moment her hands touch that horse so they get off as quick as possible. And you couldn't have a better landing.
9.80 for Kathy's second ball. And on the floor exercise right now is the young lady who had the perfect 10 at the beam, Simona Palka.
Very interesting routine here. She has little sound effects in the music. I'm not sure if we've already passed the telephone call that she gets on the floor, which is probably pretty confusing to those of you at home watching, but she lays on the floor and acts like she's answering the phone. There you go.
Right on it.
Play with the audience. A lot of theatrics.
Well, as we mentioned during the compulsories, the Romanians seem to smile more these days, don't they?
They certainly do. They're as intense, but they enjoy their performances more, it seems.
Wasn't that lovely?
Some nice routine.
Simona Palka. While that was going on, here is Julianne McNamara in slow motion of her first vault.
And you can see the speed. She'll build up, and you can see in the background that 10 is for the value of the vault. It's worth a 10 in the quota points, and it's a full twisting Sukahara. A little bit low on that landing, but obviously you can see it from this angle. Possibly better than even from the side.
9.50.
They did take off for us. But
one more for Julianne, and we're still waiting on Palka's score on the floor exercise. Watch Julianne's eyes. They just get like eagles.
They're very, very intense. And the concentration is there. Pull it around. There you go. Then she landed in very good distance from the horse.
9.75 for Simona Palka's floor exercise. And the crowd doesn't like that. Here's Julianne in slow motion.
Let's see her stretch in the beginning here. Legs come together very quickly. A little bit low on the landing. Maybe 2/10 of a point.
Here's Laura Kutina on the floor exercise.
A veteran to international competition.
last three for Romania. There are three big ones: Tina, Agaki, and Zabo.
They're the tiniest members of the Romanian Olympic team.
9.75 for Julianne's second vault.
There's a round off back handspring, pull in, double back, and she nails it. Right on that move.
You're seeing here why Romania, along with the Soviets, are the class of women's gymnastics.
They have fought long and hard. And they haven't always been given scores either. They've had to fight the reputation of the Soviet Union for many, many years. There's a second tumbling run, round off back handspring. Triple twist. And we didn't see it, but Tracy Talavera just nailed her vault.
And we'll show it to you in a minute.
It's a three-ring circus here. Literally. And this crowd has been great. Encouraging these women. A lot of speed is needed on this. Last tumbling run around off that handspring, double back, and Sheila's on. Laura Cristina.
All right. 9.90 for Tracy Talavera on the ball. And she has another one.
Another vault coming up. Unusual vault that she has. She does a round off to the board, goes into a back handspring position on the vault, and does a full twist. And we will show you the first one after we finish with this vault, getting her concentration together, signaling the judge that she's ready to go. She's looking down right now because she has a starting position that there's a measuring tape on the floor, and she makes sure she starts on the right foot so that she's on the right foot when she gets under that horse. And another great vault. Very difficult vault to do.
Could it be a 10?
Well, it certainly looked like one.
Tracy Talavera, 9.9 on her first, and now she hits this one.
Look at the depth of ball.
Oh, boy.
So many that got 10. This is the one we just saw. Watch the round off to the board. Timing has to be so right. She has to be in the middle of the horse. Look at this position in the air, almost laid out. And a perfect landing. I might mention, too, Laura Katina got a 9.9 on the floor exercise.
Things happening fast and furious here. We also have word that our United States women's volleyball team lost their first game to Brazil today, and you'll see that on the Late Show.
And you can hear the people chanting 10. They were...
9.90 for Tracy's second.
Let's take another look at her first ball. But she also got a 9.9 on. And I bet you it's exactly like the last one. Good position in the air. In fact, your second one was really actually better.
Now we have Mary Lou Retton live.
And this lady, what can you say about her? Incredible strength in her legs. She's proved that on the floor exercise. Watch this ball. Lay out super hard with a full twist. I guarantee a 10 on this one. Nobody balks, nobody explodes like Mary Lou.
Coach Don Peters of Mary Lou Retton.
He's telling her do the same thing on the second vault. Look at this vault.
Boy, she runs like Carl Lewis and smiles like Brooke Shields.
She flies. Look at this. Straight body in the air. Look at the distance. It must be 22 feet or more. So tiny and yet so explosive. Boy, did God give her a gift. Those legs.
It is a 10 for Mary Lou Retton.
She doesn't even need to take a second ball, but she's going to give herself another look.
Yes, sir.
She knows. This is icing on the cake right here, as Peter Goodmall would say. She doesn't need this ball, but she's going to do it anyway.
Can't save it if it's another 10, can she?
No, save it for another event.
Look at her run. Look at that thing. almost for sure. Oh, my, what a way to finish.
But a gold medal performance for all of them. What effort and determination. Whew. This gives you the opportunity in this super slow motion to really see how she flies. Watch her shoulders push into that horse, punches up, and then she just goes into the vertical position practically. Body completely laid out. Brings the legs in for the landing. And she just nails that ending. What momentum.
Oh, my. Mary Lou Retton out of Fairmont, West Virginia. Taylor Coroli trained right now. Let's fix the hair up.
That's
Hi there,
right.
girl.
I know I'm going to be doing an interview soon. I better get... I might mention on the floor exercise, we didn't get the chance to see it, but Agaki fell.
And it's 9-2-0 for Agaki. That is a surprise. Waiting on Mary Lou's second score, but it's rather academic. 9-9-0. The last competitor now on the floor exercise for Romania, Ekaterina Szabo.
Ekaterina really has the eye contact with the audience. Very different style than that of Nadia Comaneci. But very aggressive. And she selected this music, by the way, because she knew she was coming to the United States and thought they might like it. This is where the expression shows up so much more than in the past when they were so stoic. Watch this tumbling run. 1.5 twist to another 1.5 twist right into what they call a punch front.
Oh,
what a right run. Woo!
Well, that's why they call her the second Nadia.
Oh, glory, hallelujah.
And the crowd picks up on that.
There was a reason for this music. And a double back. Oh, fabulous routine.
And the Pauly Pavilion crowd gives her a tremendous hand. Ekaterina Szabo of Romania.
Let's take one last look at her last tumbling run, where you need incredible endurance. And she does it effortlessly here. Round off back handspring. You see her feet come underneath her. She punches off her hands to get the right position in the air for this double back. She stretches it way up in the vertical position. And they call that a cowboy, as if you're riding in the saddle. Cowboy type of leg separation.
There she is. Ekaterina Szabo. And here are the American girls. Here because they gave Ekaterina 9.95. They thought it rated a 10-2.
And she wanted a 10.
Now march out. Prepare for the award ceremony. We'll begin in just a few minutes.
Mesdames, Mesdemoiselles, Messieurs, la sortie des gymnastes se mènerait à l'opposition
Well, that was the gymnastics when we return after this message from your local station. Gold medal for Romania, the silver for the United States, and the bronze for the Chinese. Fine performance by the American women to win the silver medal there. Just a few short years ago, that would have seemed like an impossibility. Yet, to come tonight...
Gymnastic competition. With us, we have second vice president of the International Gymnastic Federation, for her to explain to us what happened out there. Jackie Fye, apparently there were 2 delays. One when Don Peters protested Pam Bialik and Tracy Calavera's score on the beam. Then there was another delay caused when your score was questioned. Kathy Johnson's score, you gave her 9-9. There was a conference, and then there was a settlement for a 9-7 final score. The question is, how can we overcome these delays? I know you came into the Olympic Games with a suggestion, it only hurts the athletes. What's your answer?
Well, the delay was caused by the spread in the scores. With my score being 9-9 and the average score of the judges being 9-6, this was an impasse because you're not allowed to have that big a difference of 0.3. I had to hold up the competition in order to try to achieve a better score for Kathy because she had an excellent chance in the finals, and she was at that point in a leading position from the compulsories. So it's an unfortunate situation trying to solve the problem, get the score raised. At the same time, Julianne McNamara is waiting to go on, and this certainly disturbed her concentration and did have a definite effect on the fact that she fell during her exercise. Subsequently, after that, we went on with the competition, but I went to the jury of appeal and asked for the score to be base scored, and we did accomplish a 9.75 as far as I know for Kathy.
Ms.
So
Fry,
she will be in the finals.
Ms. Fry, was there bias in the scoring, in your view?
I think the Romanians were scored quite fair on the beam. I think the Chinese were scored very fairly. I think our team was scored quite fairly. In 2 instances, I think not. And those were the scores of Pammy Bialik and also the score of Kathy Johnson. But in general, the team was scored fairly. We did have some breaks and we did have a fall.
What is the solution to these delays? I know last summer there was a pre-Olympic meet, and even the audience was disturbed because the athletes have to sit there and wait. We've noticed it in swimming competition when they're in the waiting room. What were your suggestions to overcome this particular situation?
I don't quite have a suggestion right now. I know that the new code of points will have a better system of scoring and more computers being used, and the scores will be able to be achieved at a faster rate. In the new code of points, there'll be 6 judges on the floor. The high and low score will be thrown out. The 4 middle scores will be averaged, and therefore you will have a better differentiation between the achievement of the gymnasts. And I think this could be one solution to the problem because you will have more input from more judges into each person's final score. So I think that may tend to solve some of the delays.
Jackie Fye, you competed in the 1956 Olympics in the all-around competition in Australia, Melbourne, Australia. What did this cost Julie McNamara? What went through her mind? And since you've been through it, you could probably explain it better.
Well, she obviously was concerned over her teammate, concerned over the performance of the team as a whole, and it does break your sense of concentration once you take to the beam and attempt a difficult mount, as she did, into her one-arm handstand, and just 1 fraction of a second of loss of concentration, and it's a 5/10 deduction when she fell. A delay for a gymnast is probably the same effect as it would be for a second or third start in a swimming. And I think anything that we can do to change the rules to alleviate this problem would be for the benefit of all the athletes.
All right, Ms. Fye, we thank you very much for being with us and for staying around to talk to us, and also for your candor on those 2 instances where you feel that there obviously was some bias against the American gymnast. Thank you once again for your honesty and for being with us.